the network used to be the denominator when we decided where to go put data centers, but now it's really power. And I just was reading a bunch of articles just this week. The power demand in the United States, really on a worldwide basis, has pretty severe constraints. And when I said shift left earlier, what we're doing as a company is getting much further ahead in the planning cycle on where we put data centers, working a lot with the power companies to make sure that they can support it, which is a multi-year. We're all competing now for the same raw materials, essentially, whether it's an EV plant, whether it's electrification of all of our vehicles, whether it's building out a new chip manufacturing fab plant somewhere in the United States. We all need this, right? We all need power, we all need steel, we all need raw materials, lithium, et cetera, to go build all this technology. And so it puts really severe constraints on the supply chain. So one of the things we want to make sure we can be as efficient as possible when we deploy these AI workloads. We're getting ahead of it, looking at liquid cooling solutions to make sure that we can support the growth in that, because it does actually save a little bit on power, makes it a little bit more efficient, making sure that we're using water efficiently. And then we're really in this big shift towards renewables. So I know this is a huge topic of interest for a lot of our customers, making sure that we have access to renewable energy, making sure that we continue to look at things like nuclear as options, which I think the industry has to take a very close look at to solve the demand profile over the course of the next 5 to 10 years.
So let me ask a question there to expand that a little bit, because there was an interesting theme that you were hitting upon around the power consumption, right? And then I want to ask a little bit around the kind of the cooling of that technology too. But from the power side, I think you're hitting on a theme, right? So as this starts to take off, you've got demand and then you've got supply, but only so much supply. We've sort of hit this critical point of renewables overtaking kind of carbon-based energy from a consumption or from a supply generation perspective. But is it keeping up? As AI starts to take off and the GPU chipsets start to overtake the CPU chipsets, is it going to keep up, or are we going to have this like ongoing sort of power crunch in your forecast of how you see the industry?
I mean, my gut would tell me yes. I think we're going to continue to have supply issues for a while, and it's just it's the building out new generation capabilities takes 3 to 5 years. The building out of distribution along the country roads